Welcome, dear viewers, to another episode of Red's Reviews, a colorful segment in which I, your charming host, reviews a web novel. Today we shall be stepping into Railroad, which, if you don't know about, then you can check out the link in the description below, which is the link to this specific book. So you can also check out the book and check out the website from the web fiction platform from which it's from. And also, you can check out my web novel, Phantom Drib, which is on the same site with the links below the links to this book. So I would very much appreciate if you check it out. And I'm also sure if you're interested, the author of this book would also very much appreciate it. Now, our story is titled I Think I Got Stuck in My Favorite RPG, or TFALM. If it's too much of a mouthful for you, you can just go TFALM. It was created by Runificient Writings and was first posted on the 22nd of August this year, 2021. This story, as of me recording this, which is the 6th of September 2021, has 13 entries into it, and more are to come. Because if you're interested, more entries are to come. From what I've seen, the story has a good update cycle. The author really updates frequently. So if you're interested, you won't be stuck with a story that's dead in the water. Now, the synopsis, or everything you need to know about this story, is clear from the title. And while I will admit that many isekai stories of the past have burned me out, and while I have lessened my contact with the genre, there are some good isekai books, and it would be disingenuous of me to not check it out, even if I won't say I'm the biggest fan of the genre. But I have done a review of an isekai book before. As long as the story is good, I will read it. And also, the beautiful artwork that you are seeing right now is from the book itself, and I am very impressed by it, to say the least. I give my praise to Inefficient Writing as they worked on some of the art. I asked them. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's start with the grammar. So, the story is good and very descriptive. One little criticism of mine for the author would be the way character point of views are changed is really jarring, because some of the first chapter there's no indication that the point of view of the character has changed. So I was legitimately confused when Dale, our main character, went out cold during the first chapter and the point of view switched. This little flaw, it wasn't that detrimental to my reading experience. So my advice to the author is have a way to indicate when the point of views of the characters have changed. But still, grammatically, it's well written. I couldn't find any errors, and it flowed well. Now, for the story, the format is structured in a first-person narrative, and it starts with your classical isekai feel of our main character, Dale, aka Azuruth, waking up in another world, though without any help from Truckgun or a robber this time. Now, I will praise it in that while the story feels a bit normal isekai, it breaks a lot of genre conventions. For example, the first chapter, it has a bunch of bandits beating up our main character, which I actually enjoyed. Not that I hate Dale, but it's nice to have an isekai protagonist who isn't some unstoppable force of nature stomping everything in their damn way. And also, the story has a fine sense of humor, but that doesn't mean that it isn't able to get dark and tackle some serious issues. And while, like I said, it doesn't say it's too far from the usual isekai conventions, it's not your bog standard isekai either. The author has clearly put a lot of thought into the main characters, even given us many early chapters about them bonding, giving Azuruth or Deo an actual personality, and some of isekai's worst tendencies have been dodged here. Now, in terms of pacing of the story starts out with a slow burn. Like if you're one of those people going who's more used to stories that maybe first two chapters are slow burning into introducing everything and then we just jump straight into the plot. Now, this story has a much slower burn with the first chapters building up the characters and also introducing them and the world. So it isn't jumping head first into the plot. It's a much slower build. And now, which will affect your reading depending on how you enjoy your books. Like, I'm just putting this out there for the pacing for people. It's not that the pacing is bad, but it really depends on how you enjoy your stories. Because I personally know many people who prefer a slower build up to a story, and they don't like the jarring. The stories goes from 0 to 100 very fast. But I also know there are people who don't like having to wait very much to go into the do not want to wait very much to go into the main plot. So this will most definitely affect your reading. Now that I've said that, I'm going to talk about the thing that I praise Runificient writing the most for, which is characters. So here's one thing that many people don't get about writing a story. You can have the best world in fiction. You can have the best plot lines. But if your characters are boring and not that likable, even if they're evil people, you can make a likable evil character, people aren't going to care. And Runifiction writing's characters are well written. They're not the greatest characters in fiction. I mean, that is a very dubious title to ever give any piece of fiction, but they're so well written that you will fall in love with them. The characters have personalities, they're fun, and this is one of the greatest sin of any writer is making boring characters who you just cannot care for. And I'm gonna praise Runifiction writing here. If you enjoy characters who are fun to read about, who you want to see go on adventures, this is the right type of book for you. So, like I said, first I gotta give it my main score. So, if I were to go out of 10, I would give this book an 8.5 out of 10. A great book, well written, flows grammatically well. People who don't like isekai, like anything about isekai, I'm not sure if you will like the story, but maybe give it a chance. If you do like isekai, and if you do like isekai that's done well and isn't part of the factory bog standard badly written books out there, I recommend this one for you. And yeah, if you are interested in seeing more about it, you will find a link to it in the description below, and you also find a link to my book, Phantom Drake, in the description below it. This has been Red Chaos 1, signing off.